So I'm really happy with what I've got for the press now. It's all prepped up and finished and smoothed out. And so it's ready to move on for the concrete. It's not perfect. There is a few small things, like if you might be able to see right here. But it's good enough to keep moving forward. So what I've got to do now is I've got to prep this for the actual cement. Because obviously if I pour directly on here, it won't be very useful. It'll just get everywhere. So what I've got to do is build a box that will go around and contain the concrete. And so I've got to figure out how tall I want the box and just exactly how I'm going to do that. So the thing I've got to figure out mainly is, first of all, you want the concrete to be thick enough to be strong enough to press your decks. But you also want it to be not too thick to where it's just unnecessarily heavy, because the concrete press can get pretty heavy. So that's what I've got to think about here. Obviously, this is the highest end over here. It is about 6 1/4 inches high on this end, and over here it's about 3 3/4 inches. So it's a pretty huge difference. So if I have it so that it's, let's say if I add 3/4 inches, so I have 6 inches here, then at this end, I'll have 2 1/4 inches thick of cement. Just a big old fat slab. And in the center, it'll be even thicker. So at 1/4 inch, it'll be pretty thick, pretty massive piece of cement. But at the same time, I'm not sure if that's enough material at this end. Obviously it slopes down rather quickly, so it becomes a lot thicker pretty fast, so I might be able to get away with it. But I don't know, I think I might want to do a full inch here and do the same depth around the entire perimeter. So the two options I have is I could make it so it's a straight edge like this. So the top of the box would be like that across there. So everything underneath here would be concrete. Or I could do it like this, like that. And you know what? That actually might work better, because the hydraulics are going to be pushing perpendicular to whatever this line is, right? So if I have it so that it's right here, then the hydraulics will be pressing, 90 degrees downwards. And if I go like this, it kind of skews the whole thing. And so the hydraulics are going to be pressing more at just a slight angle, which I think aligns more with the geometry of the deck. So it's only marginally harder to do, but yeah, I think I could do that pretty easily, actually. So yeah, that should save me a lot of weight. I mean, let's look at this real quick here. Yeah, that should save me a lot of weight of concrete, quite a bit. So I think I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna build the box with this philosophy in mind. So it's gonna be an inch on the front, an inch on the rear. But then this area right here, this whole shelf is a little thin. So many things to consider. Well, there won't be a board in here. there won't be wood in here. This is just going to be concrete on concrete. So I think it'll be fine. I think it'll be fine. Yeah, I think this will work. So I'll get started, and I'll get started on making the frame. So I've got the box all put together, and what I did, I'll show you from the back side. Because I want the cement to pour level, what I did is I used square pieces of wood here instead of sloping them. And as you can see, the mold is actually sloped inside. So now when I pour off and level the cement, I won't have to deal with the cement trying to flow out of it, right? Because this thing can stay level. So that's good. That was a good solution. So now the thing I've got to figure out is what I'm going to do to protect this master mold from the cement. So cement, the concrete blend is going to be have a lot of water in it. So, and it's going to have to sit in here to cure for at least 72 hours. And the water could really screw up this MDF. And I really want to keep this exactly as it is in case I have to make another concrete mold. This will be the master, right? The concrete wears out, I can come back to this. Or if something needs to change, I can come back to this. I have to do something to protect this from water. And I'm not sure what I want to do for that yet. On my previous mold, what I did was actually glue down some plastic bag, right? It's like garbage bag. Glued that down, and that protected the wood really well. And I might try something like that again, except for right here where I can't. I think that would work pretty much everywhere else though. The problem with that as well is that it had so many wrinkles in it that it really made the mold a lot messier than it needed to be. It could have been a really smooth deal. And I'd like to keep it as smooth as I can. That way it'll be a lot easier to finish up and see where any imperfections are, right? So I think what I might do is actually maybe something like brush on polyurethane. I'll see what I've got and come back over and see what we'll do. Okay, so this is what I found. I remembered we have this brush on polyurethane that I saved from throwing out just for stuff like this. So this is what I'll be using. It's wrapped up in shrink wrap because the lid is so messed up. So that's why it was thrown out. It was mostly dried out. So let's see what we got here. Let's see. It's a little stuck on there again. Okay, so it's got a shell on it. We could ignore that, just rip through that. There should be good polyurethane underneath it, maybe, hopefully. Yes, no? I think that's a no. I think that's no. It's pretty much, it's gel, it's jelly. That won't work anymore. I couldn't even thin this out again to make it work. Let's see what else I can find. So this is what I found. I think it'll work quite well. It's high performance protective enamel for high performance industrial applications. So that should keep water out for a few hours. So let's see. Let's make sure this stuff's good still. Now the other thing I was thinking about using was actually just using wood glue and painting down Titebond 2. But I think the wood glue we have right at the moment is just Titebond 1, so it's not waterproof. And I don't want to use my Titebond 3 just for something like this. So I can use this paint, which is long since been used for what it was purchased for. Alright, so this has got a film on it as well. I've got this. Ah! Okay, there we go. Yes, I do believe this will work. Stir it up a bit. It seems pretty good already. Didn't seem to separate. It seems pretty. Okay. See how this goes. This is the brush I have. Let me just blow this out one last time. Okay, here we go. All right, so I'm gonna do a second coat after this. I got the top of here because I know concrete is going to spill down onto that. But I didn't worry about getting it too good. I'm worried about this. I got the sides, the whole inside. I've decided I am going to use hot glue around the border, and then I'll just use like an X-Acto knife to trim it down flush. I need to do something in here. It's got this taper. You know, you can see this hole has a taper here, but it's also got an edge that is vertical. And on the mold, you want to have as few vertical stuff as you can. You want to have everything open so that you can pull everything apart. If I don't have to, I'd like to not have to take the walls off this mold to get the concrete out. So I think I'll put hot glue in the bottom of that too, and then trim that so that it's a cone shape instead of vertical. And I think that's about it. So what I'm gonna do is get this first coat dry. I'm gonna take this saran wrap or shrink wrap or whatever that I had on this on the polyurethane that we didn't use. I'm just gonna put this around the brush, and I'm just gonna put it in the freezer so that it'll still be good by the time this is dry. And I'll go work on something else while I'm waiting. Alright, so I got my brush. Didn't quite as long as I expected. It's still a little tacky, but it's not leaving anything on my hands. And so I'm going to go ahead and put the second coat on now. So that's the enamel down, second coat. It's on pretty thick, so I have to wait a couple days before I do anything more. So I still have to put the seal around the seams and around here. And I'm just gonna use hot glue again for that. But then it'll be ready for the concrete, and that'll be great. So then I'll be able to figure out what kind of concrete I want to use and what I want to use for reinforcement. So stay tuned, and I'll be back. I'm going to be trying to get I'm going to try to get a board pressed out of this thing before October. Gonna try. So we'll see how it goes. Longboard Technology, over and out. So I just found this while cleaning up the shop a little bit. Not the thing you expect to see inside of a wood shop. So I'll be taking it home and putting it in the raspberry patch, and hopefully it'll do okay. Into the raspberry patch. It's dark. Let's see what we can do. All right. Come on out. Yeah, see how he's not, yeah, he's a little weird. Yeah, hopefully it'll be okay. There's plenty of insects around here. Lots of bees come to the raspberries, and lots of everything else, so it should be good. If we can get something to eat by tomorrow, it'll be fine, but I'm a little worried about, and if he can't move quick, he's not gonna catch anything, and he's just not seeming be the best shape. So hopefully I'll see him again. So goodbye, praying mantis.